Hello, everybody. We have lost a Carly, but she is magically transformed into a Joseph, aka
Hello.
Pixel.
The guy who played the game.
Yes,
Hello.
He's
So-
awake now.
yes.
Just
I
about
tried to
awake.
put him back to sleep, but it didn't.
He was having nightmares of having to play every single mission.
Yeah.
So
I've been up to. I think I've done every mission that I can at this point. I'm sort of trying to level up my materia at the moment, but yeah, I'm just about to go into Nibelheim in the recording sessions.
Nibblehimms.
Nibelheim. Yes.
Yeah. No, we were earlier talking about how this battle or this mission is one of the better ones in the game. Partly because it's a new set piece, it's actually a good plot, and it's not bland as hell visually or done to death as so many other mission maps are. And how basically our thesis is that this game starts strong and it ends strong, but in the middle it takes a vacation.
Yeah. I've never actually completed this game. I end up sort of getting sidetracked by the missions at one point, and it's the same with the Final Fantasy 12. You end up getting stuck on the hunts and stuff, and then just kind of lose track of the story.
That is, I have a policy of if there is a post game, then
yeah.
always go for plot before post game.
Yeah,
Well, that's the good thing about this. You can carry out over your materia and your level and
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff. I
think it
tried
was
to
12 though.
do as many battles during missions as I can. Guess I should have cut some of them out.
Yeah.
Also, while I'm playing, I'm trying to do as much as I can, like unlocking missions and stuff. So
Yeah,
you'll
no.
probably see that during the playthrough.
So I have to comment that Zach has terrible conflict resolution skills.
Yeah.
Every time he has a conflict, he solves it by killing people.
Yeah, we were talking a few minutes ago about how just how many damn times you get hit with the activating combat mode
Yeah.
announcement. You know, it's like you almost want like a turntable. You know, they'd be like activating combat mode. You know.
Activate combat, activating conflict, combat, resolved.
So you did that much better. See, this little conversation right here was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
It's a shame that the rest of the game didn't, but really, it thinks it built on this exchange, but it didn't.
Well, a lot of the like the stuff in the messages that you get are really interesting. But you have to kind of go out of your way to find that stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah. One thing that we brought up earlier was, even though he's the main character, this winds up not really being Zach's story, which is a damn shame.
Whose
Um,
story do you think it is?
It actually winds up trying to be Sephiroth's story, but you can't commit enough. That's the problem.
Because he has to go away.
Yeah.
3/4 through
Well,
it.
part of the issue is that it's trying to tell Sephiroth's story through Sephiroth's friends, through Zach's interactions with them.
Well, I think it's
So
more,
we're getting it.
I think it's more the story of Shinra rather than just one character. It's the same as
I mean-
Mhm.
Case of Shinra. It's not centered around one character. It's kind of a whole piece. If you know what I mean.
And I can sort of get what they're trying to do. They're trying to show what's set up, but for that, they both didn't focus enough on. I mean, they both focused too much on one person and didn't focus enough on that one person. And what it really should have been would like, even if it's showing the fall of Shinra, it should have been Zack, seeing the fall of Shinra and not realizing it until it was too late. This part I did think was cute.
Yeah.
Like, they really shoehorned Yuffie into the later sections, but I did like that part.
Yeah.
It actually went a long way to... Granted, it doesn't make a whole hell of a lot of sense for her to be here in the middle of the battle. But that's one of the points where they needed a couple more missions of just being in Wutai.
Yeah. It's like, why is she there? Clearly she's not actually been trained for battle yet.
Yeah. They really should have met her at one point while he was, in an outskirts village,
Yeah.
Well, I think that's what the missions are for. You don't really get to know her, but you could kind of see, you kind of get little glimpses of her character and how she's kind of becoming this materia hunter.
Yeah, no, I get that, and those are actually really cute. But the actual meeting with her, it just seemed weird to come right in between the, are you evil? You need to join our cause. And these guys, it's, join our cause. Hi! Yeah! I'm cute! And then, giant monstrous asshole boss fight.
Yeah, and then follow that up with,
yeah, man,
your mentor ditched us.
Yeah.
I think it's quite interesting the way you hear in the mail later on that a blonde guy has been working with the Wutai movement and Avalanche and everything. And like if you've played before Crisis, you know that's President Shinra Jr.
Yeah.
But you don't really get that during the actual story. You have to kind of hear that through the mails.
Well, if you haven't played Before Crisis, you're probably going to figure it's Lazard.
Yeah.
And then it isn't, and it's like... But, I mean, because another thing we were talking about earlier was how Lazard is... He doesn't seem to fit his position. Like, he doesn't feel like he's earned it, or that he would, even with nepotism, that he'd be put in the position.
Yeah.
And he just does not give the feeling of somebody who you would even expect to have been put in charge of these, much less be respected by the people under him.
I think if you were working for an organization like Shinra that's sort of become more than what it started out as, like just as a weapons company or an electric company, and it becomes this kind of big, they're going into countries and destroying places and everything. You'd be conflicted. I think that's Lazard's stance.
Oh yeah, it's not that he's conflicted. It's It's not specifically... I don't have a problem with him in the position. My issue is that I don't see why anyone would have put him in the position.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't... There's nothing in the story that justifies why he's there.
It would be like putting a guy who never went through basic training in charge of some Marines.
Well, does President Shinra know that he's his son? I mean, is that's revealed in the new Turks novel that Zard was President Shinra's son?
Yeah.
Do you think that was planned all along? It could be nepotism.
It's hinted at in some emails in this game.
Yeah. But even then, like I can totally understand nepotism to get him a position. It just seems like if you are going to go purely based on nepotism, why are you putting him in charge of literally your most important expansion project? Because
Yeah.
that is basically what Soldier is in company terms. They are the hostile takeovers department.
Mhm.
It is really odd because you've got, like Palmer, who is apparently an old family friend,
Yeah.
and then you've got, Veld, who has apparently worked with the company since forever and
Yeah.
has been involved in all the shadiness. So of course he would be in charge of the Turks.
Yeah, but I mean, with Palmer, Palmer was in charge of like less vital projects.
Yeah, that was like a hobby project.
Yeah. So you can see why he could be put in charge of that due to nepotism, and it wouldn't be problematic for them because, like, basically, even the people who were worked under him did not give him the time of day.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, if the space program got money, it was because we felt like doing something.
Yeah.
Nobody really cared.
Mhm.
we needed. After one mission, your bravery in the Wutai War will be remembered. Give us a couple more missions.
Yeah, no doubt. It's apparently a war that lasted years. I mean,
Yeah, I understand that Zack and they all were in the end of it, but you gotta figure that the end of it was the most frenetic part. As everybody got really desperate, like everybody at Wutai got really desperate, and everybody at Shinra got really eager to finish it.
yeah.
What do you
To
think?
get their bonuses.
What do you think happened to like Fort Tamblin? Do you think that was destroyed, and then what we see in FF7 is just the last remnants of Wutai, or do you think there is more to it?
Oh no, there's definitely got to be more to Wutai. I'm
Yeah, the fort is definitely destroyed. Weren't they planting a bomb? Something? Seems like there was a bomb.
well, no, they set explosives at least at several points, so it was shelled, and it might have been built over. So it's just a question of how much they dismantled it.
Because I think Avalanche's hideout was either in Tamlin or within Wutai, so that would have been destroyed. I think it actually says that it was destroyed.
Later, yes.
Yeah.
Now, I think that having the Genesis troops show up so early was a mistake. Not because specifically there's anything wrong with it necessarily, but we shouldn't be getting them as soon as we can. We should get a couple more missions where we think, one, we should get more Wutai, but then we should get somewhere it's like we don't know quite who it is, and then finally it gets revealed that they're the Genesis ones. Like, if it was just these weird-ass guys in masks for a while, that'd be fine, but we almost immediately get the, oh shit, it's Genesis. We should have gotten a couple where Genesis was still on their side while the Genesis troops were going around.
Yeah.
That would have been more interesting.
These guys aren't Wutai troops.
I'd forgotten that effort quite necessarily.
Yeah.
I wish they had put more summons in. I think there's like 4.
4 you can fight, and then there's the random ones you can pick up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have liked to have seen some repeat summon fights. Multi-summon fight. You know, just changing the game up.
I think if it wasn't on the PSP, they could have done a lot more with it.
Yeah.
I feel like they still could have.
But even, did you notice earlier, a lot of the kind of cutscenes, they're actually pre-rendered. You can see, like, I'm using an emulator here, but it's all anti-aliased, and then all of a sudden there's these sections, like, if they're doing anything kind of like interesting, like with sword fighting or anything with special effects, there's it just all of a sudden goes all un-anti-aliased, and yeah, it seems.
Yeah, no, I mean that was obvious even back on the PSP. So
yeah. I love the way they do these all pre-rendered,
Yeah.
and they're skippable.
Yeah, the skippable animations made that the whatever the hell the super long fight that was one of the missions. It was literally, here's a giant room, here's an endless wave of soldiers,
Yeah.
kill them. That took hours, or at least an hour, I should say.
No, I feel like another thing that's kind of jarring here is they don't really act like the summons are that big of a deal.
Yeah.
Zach's just like, oh, they summoned, who called it? Let me knock it down.
Now I'm stuck in an endless hellscape. How am I gonna get out of here?
Yeah, I always wondered about the summons. Like, do they pull you into like another dimension, or
Yeah, they do. There's a, I think it's the Crisis Core Complete guy that says that.
is that what Sephiroth does with his?
Supernova?
Yeah.
I think Supernova is supposed to be illusory more than anything.
The missing soldier first class.
Because I think one of the Bahamut
A Genesis copy.
summons is kind of the same. It kind of calls on planets and
They thought he was fighting
like charges them, and then sends a huge beam down
He's gone too.
to
Yeah.
Earth.
What? Wait, what does that mean?
But yeah, it's one of, I forget exactly, yeah, I think it was that
Yeah,
book,
that.
it says they keep their target into their own dimensional space. And,
This came way too early.
oh, the Genesis copy thing?
No, the Angeal betrayed us thing. It came way too early. We don't
Yeah.
even know this fucker. So it's our word against Zack, and we have no reason to trust Zack at the moment. They should have come after several more missions of him being nice to us.
Yeah.
So the biggest fucking, well, not the biggest, but one of the biggest fucking issues in this game is pacing, and we're done.